Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about some stock news. So a lot of these companies on here bought some news out, and yesterday I was like looking around, I was like, right, which video shall I make? And the one that I eventually made was this one about Greg. So I made that last night. I think it came out at like 8-9 o'clock or something, so it was a pretty late video. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out, guys. I know some of you guys are Greg shareholders, and yeah, I think the video isn't doing that well because I brought it out that late. So hopefully today's video comes out a little bit earlier so you guys can actually watch it rather than being in bed and asleep. So yeah, we'll talk about a few of these companies. There was some news that came out, and like I say, I was tempted to make a video about all of these news articles that did come out, but I thought, hey, let's just jam pack it into one video, and we'll try cover it all in like 2 or 3 minutes. So yeah, we'll get started. So first of all, just honourable mention to Greg's. Made a full video on it yesterday, but yeah, I think one thing that I kind of don't appreciate that much really is actually them Greg's earnings were really good. And I said on yesterday's video, yeah, they were good, but actually I should have really said they were really good. Like, for Greg to pull out them numbers, they were excellent. And sometimes I feel like the thing about doing like YouTube and doing like stock market videos on YouTube is that I'm always accountable for everything that I say. Like literally within a month, 6 months, a year, I've got like history of like posting my thoughts on like every company. And you know, if I was ever to get so many decisions wrong or something like that, I would have quite a few even more hateful comments in the videos. So you know, that's the thing about YouTube, is that I'm always accountable for everything that I say, especially with it being like money related and personal wealth. Like if I start talking about a lot of bad companies, the next thing I know, everyone will come and say, oh, don't listen to that JKR investing, he always picks bad stocks. So I guess there's pressure on me because obviously I'm a big fan of Greg's. It's a stock that I push quite a bit on the channel. It's also my second largest position as well in the stock market for the UK front. So obviously I've got a personal gain to make from there, so I want my money to do well. I also want to be obviously taken as someone that kind of knows a little bit about what they're doing in the stock market. So yeah, I mean, I've got to really step back from Greg's and say, you know what, those earnings were good. The stock has performed phenomenal over the last few months. I mean, I think I'm up like something like 40% right now in the company. I know some guys have even better average than that were buying in like when it was dipping down even lower than when I started buying it and bought there. Some of them guys are up absolutely huge, so congratulations if you're one of them. But yeah, I've got to appreciate the gains a little bit, and when the dividends come back as well, it'll be amazing. So yeah, I thought I'll just touch on Greg's slightly because I made a video about it yesterday, but I think I just got to be I got to appreciate Greg's a little bit more, with it being the earnings, my second biggest position, and the gains. You know, we can't complain about a stock being up that much. So yeah, I think just touch on Greg's a little bit there. I think it's a bit of an apology to Greg's, I think, yesterday, being a bit harsh in it, but very good. Next up, Alibaba. So I got a few comments about this one. I talk about the situation, and obviously there's kind of two little stories that are going on here. So first of all, the one that we kind of know about, which is we know Alibaba's getting like investigated by the Chinese regulators, and there's also that pressure of Alibaba going to get delisted from the US. Now, realistically, the Alibaba delisted from the US is a story that's been around for like 5-6 years. You know, the story about Alibaba being delisted is been pretty much around since they started coming onto the stock market, and that pressure just generally just started building. Now I don't know exactly where that will end up. Personally, I don't think it will end up with that, but I think as soon as this like reporting with the same regulations what US companies do, I think that will kind of cool it down a little bit. So I think from that point of view, I don't see Alibaba getting delisted. If it did get delisted, it's okay because it'd still have the Hong Kong listing. So yeah, that would be absolutely fine from that point of view. And so a little part of me does go, you know what, I won't mind them delisting because it would take a lot of this hateful pressure off from people that hate Chinese stocks. So I thought that would actually work out for them, but then I thought, well, it probably won't attract many investors if it's not on the US listing. So yeah, I was kind of thinking both situations, but I think generally that will just fizzle out in my opinion. Now that a lot of these US companies will end up reporting to like the regulations of US, the Chinese companies will report to the regulations of the US companies. So yeah, I guess there's that little story going on in the background. I think that will probably end up going nowhere. Now, obviously, the next one was about Jack Ma, and he obviously has gone missing. So I'll be totally honest with you. When it comes to stocks, I can give my opinion on stocks. I can kind of give a bit of an experience point of view from stock market stuff. But generally, when a guy comes missing, I've got no qualifications in like missing people. I have no experience of when a missing person turns up. I have no experience of living in China. And I know that definitely being very outspoken over there can be very different to being outspoken in, say, the UK or the US, for example. So I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Like, I generally can't put much feedback into this situation and like calm everyone down because I generally don't know. We've been going missing. I generally don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, he's been very outspoken. I mean, I don't know if that's led to something, and he's going to be coming out in a few months' time saying how much he loves China and have a big U-turn. I mean, that generally might happen. I don't know if because of the Ant Group and the pressure of Alibaba, he's just gone, right, head down, sitting in an office, I'm going to work through it in the next few months and try to sort it all out, which would generally be quite a sensible decision. He's built up a big, massive company like this. It would be a shame to see it all collapsing around him, which I don't think it will get to that point, but it seems sensible that he would lock himself away and try to sort all these problems out. Not like, say, other companies that end up going on just doing YouTube interviews, So, yeah, I think I can't give much feedback on the situation apart from that I'm sure he will turn up at some point, and when he turns up, we'll have a lot more information about what actually happened. And that's all I can say from that. So, yeah, I think it will sort itself out, and I would not panic about it too much in general. Next up was Beyond Meat. So Beyond Meat had a lot of downgrades this week from a lot of analysts, and I, once again, would not worry about this too much, because what happens here is, I'll be honest, most analysts are awful. They are awful. They are the last person you should ever listen to in the stock market. And I wouldn't say it's all of them, I would just say it's the majority of them. And what a lot of analysts do is they are very far behind the trend. And this is why it's very easy to be like Wall Street, and why as an individual investor, you have so much potential because you can react faster, you can see things faster than a lot of these analysts do. Now, analysts have seen the recent Q3 come out of Beyond Meat, and what they've gone is gone, right, they're not doing well, and our price target is this. So we have to downgrade the share price. And that's what they've done. Beyond Meat's moved down because of it this week. Even went into like the 119, 117 range. And that's what they do. They see the news, they react off the news. Analysts don't think, oh, well, this problem actually is going to be sorted out in the next 6 months. So, yeah, it might have come down now, but the problems will be sorted in a few months and it'll go back up. But analysts don't work like that. Analysts will wait until the problems are solved and then they raise the share price. And they're always behind the game. And this is why analysts struggle to beat Wall Street, and why there isn't that much gains in Wall Street, and why you can always beat Wall Street as an individual investor. Because you have the advantage of reacting to this so much quicker. You can think a lot further ahead on what they can think. And that's what they do. Analysts are just so slow. They've seen like, oh, Beyond Meats has a few problems now, so we'll move the price target down. When realistically, everyone as an investor looks at the share price dropping off now and goes, so they've had some problems, but how long are these problems going to be around for? 6 more months? Okay, so it's probably going to go up in 12 months' time. And that's the great thing, and that's why you can always it's very easy to beat Wall Street, because you can outthink them very easy. So yeah, I mean, for me, hopefully they keep downgrading because it'll give me better chances to buy the stock at a bit cheaper prices. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened with Beyond Meat. It's nothing major to worry about really on that front. And next up's GAN, which has been on such a good run. I mean, obviously it's November, September time. Was a tricky few months, staying in the $16 range, maybe even dipping down to like the $14, $15 range. But yeah, I mean, since November time, the stock's up nearly 50%, which is crazy. Had a really, really good jump recently, and yeah, I'm really happy. I know some of you guys have been in here, kept the faith, held through, and yeah, it's starting to come back strong, which is really good. The news came off after it said that New York was looking at sports betting. So yeah, I mean, the other like betting companies moved up quite a bit, but GAN definitely really bounced off it because obviously how much it's beaten down as well, and it's just been on an amazing run. And I've got to say, DraftKings, I really, really like this company. It's one that I should buy at some point. But yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that this was at some point going to happen. Like, if we didn't have the expansion plans and states allowing a lot of this sports betting, then I wouldn't buy the company. So I kind of knew that this had to happen, but the news has obviously been taken really well, and hopefully, like I say, we have a few more states in the next few years allowing a lot of sports betting, and that will be the catalyst for GAN and even like DraftKings, for example, to do really well. So yeah, I mean, it's a strange one really, because it's really positive news, but at the same time, it's news that I really expected, because otherwise I wouldn't have really bought the company. But hey, nevertheless, GAN, definitely a brilliant couple of months for it, or a month for it. Over the last few weeks, it's been really good for it. And last one's Barratt Developments, house builder. I always said that, you know, you need to get yourself a house builder in your portfolio if you haven't. Barratt's, Taylor Wimpey, and yeah, Barratt's Development kind of lived up to what I've been preaching over the last few months and saying to buy a house builder. The housing market seemed very, very strong. I said previously, houses I've seen sold very quickly. Even houses I'm like, that won't sell, they've sold. So there's definitely a strong housing market still out there, and every information that we were getting was suggesting it was strong as well. So we kind of knew this was going to happen. It's happened better than what I thought, to be fair. But yeah, it's Barratt Developments brought a trading update out. Very good trading update. Strong demand out there. Also looks very positive for my shares in like Taylor Wimpey, for example, MJ Gleason. So yeah, I hope some of you guys did get a house builder. I know some of you guys are in Barratt Developments. I think a few of you guys bought Taylor Wimpey, but Barratt's earnings were really good. The big positive here, dividend coming back. Didn't expect it probably for another probably 6-12 months, so that's perfect. Came back a little bit earlier than what I think. That will attract a few more investors in. And yeah, I think Barratt Developments, I'm currently up like 40% on it, but I think by the end of the year, I can see myself being up on Barratt Developments, getting closer to like the 80% range, and also picking up a very nice dividend. So everything really good on that front. I didn't think it was worth a video, because when I just talk about like stocks I own and do an update on them, like at Barratt Developments, they do awful. Just like Greg's yesterday. I talk about stocks I own, I talk about really important news, and it's funny because like the really important news gets no views, which is crazy. And I could make a video talk about Barratt Developments trading update, but it would just do awful. And unfortunately, the name of the game in YouTube is sometimes not really the most important information you can give out. It's about who clicks on the video, and it does suck a little bit, and it is getting worse for that on the YouTube scene. That is about getting views, and you can see it with all the like penny stock videos at the moment. It's awful. It's grim to see, but hey, hopefully things get a little bit better, and hopefully it goes back to the point where we were like, well, let's put quality information out, talk about quality companies. And yeah, I would love to do a video on it, but yeah, unfortunately it would just sting the views, and then it kicks you out of the YouTube algorithm. But hey, I squeeze it in here. Barratt Developments, amazing trading update, great news about the dividend, and hopefully some of you guys have this one. I know a few guys were a fan of it, so hopefully you've still got that, and you've got the rewards coming in right now. And yeah, you know, Barratt, you might class it as a boring company, but look at how well that boring company's done over the last few months. Really good gain. So yeah, talk about 5 companies I own. Fantastic news from all 5 of them. Really happy. Well, not fantastic news from all of them, I guess. Alibaba, a little bit shaky, but beyond meats, obviously that's just getting a good buying opportunity. But Greg's, GAN, Barratt, very good news from them. So hope you enjoyed it. If you could, smash the like button. If you are new, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next video.